I can't hear you still. Your mic is not on. Luke, can you hear me? Your mic is not on. Your mic is not on. Is your mic muted? Hello?
Yeah, it says we're streaming, but I
Okay, I hear you now. Now I hear you. There you go. Whatever you just did worked. I hear you fine.
Mika, are you there? Mika,
Okay,
can you
so
unmute yourself?
yeah, we're live. Yeah, it's live now. I can hear everybody. Well, I can hear you.
Mika, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I just have a lot of background noise, so I have to push mute.
Okay, well, I see you got the mute on. Well, we're live now. I'm sorry, but that was a technical difficulty right there. I couldn't get everything working at the same time. Well, we're live. Well, let me see. What was the question we were going with? I'm gonna see if I can do this, but I don't know if I can. So, how's everybody doing? How you doing tonight, Mika?
Shamika, I'm blessed.
Oh, you want me to do your government name? My bad,
Yes,
Shamika.
please.
All right, my bad. My bad, Shamika. How you
Thank
doing,
you.
Shay? Shay, meet Shamika. Shamika, that's Shay.
Hi, Shay.
Hello, Shamika. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay. The question was tonight with the a promise. Was it a wife's promise? That's what it was.
Okay,
And
what
both,
is the question?
and both of you are wives. So, and by the way, how's my main man Rohan doing?
He's good. He's fine.
Shante, how's your husband doing?
Everybody's good over here.
Okay.
Everybody's good.
I'm trying to get back to the question here. So, give me a second. I'm a little unorganized over here. I hope not too many people are watching, but that's my initial set.
Okay, so how do we know who's watching?
We don't. That's the point. I don't know. Okay, the wife promise went like this. She wrote a letter to her husband, and in the letter, it says, if loving you makes me a better me, listen, I'll always hold you down. I'll always go hard for you, and I'll always make you feel like the best thing that ever happened to me. So, how do you two married women sound? How that sound to y'all two?
I'm trying to understand the. Okay, you said if. Can you read that again? If loving you is wrong, read that again.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, the lady wrote. She wrote her husband. It says, "If loving you makes me feel no makes me a better me, listen, I'll always hold you down. I'll always go hard for you, I'll always make you feel like the best thing that ever happened to me. Do you
The
hear
best
anything
thing
wrong with
ever
that or
happened to
anything
me
right with that?
or happened to you?
You said what now?
The best thing that ever happened to her or happened to him?
To him.
Well, you
She
didn't
said,
read that correctly.
okay, I'm gonna say it again. I'm only reading what I see here. It says a wife's promise. Loving you, if loving him makes her a better her. Listen, I'll always hold you down. I'll always go hard for you. And I'll always make you feel like the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay, so what I hear that saying is she's saying if loving you that way, if it makes it you a better you, I'll love. She's basically going to love him that way because she's saying she's bringing the best out in him by loving him that way.
Mm,
That's what I'm hearing
okay.
it say. She's bringing the
But
best out of him by loving him that way. She says, so if loving you is going to bring out the best in you, then I'm going to go hard for you. I'm going to do all those things.
well, do you feel like that's happening in most relationships today or most marriages? Or is that the correct view of that?
I
Is anything wrong with that?
I wouldn't say that that's happening today in most marriages because the divorce rate is so high. So, and that's not even saying that's the reason why the divorce rate is high, but if that's the kind of love that was being displayed in the marriage, yeah, I would say that divorce rate wouldn't be so high. So, I think that, yeah, for your mate, vice versa. If you want your mate to be the best that they can be, then yes, then yeah, you're going to go hard for your mate.
Okay. So asking that question again, you would go hard for your mate. You saying so this woman is saying she going hard for her mate. But is she missing anything? Is there anything not right with this?
I didn't hear where she said. I mean, like I really should have jotted down the things that you said because I'm trying to recollect all the stuff you said. She said if loving you is because that's a long statement. So I'm trying to all the stuff that she said. I didn't hear anything where
I
yeah.
was trying to put it on the screen, but I can't. I was trying to
I'm
get
not
it on
hearing
screen.
anything about where she's going to let him lead. I didn't hear that kind of thing. I heard the stuff that she's going to
Hmm.
do for him, but I didn't hear where she's going to actually step back and be like, "Okay, let you lead. I'm going to be behind the scenes loving on you so that you can be the better you, but you are the captain of this ship. You are you're the head
Hmm.
here." I didn't hear that part. I just heard a bunch of loving on him.
Okay. So she made that promise to him. What would be the expectations of that husband?
Well, that's not what you read. I didn't get that. I got she's willing to do everything for this man, but it's going to bring the best out of her. It's going to make her a better her. Her
Uh-huh.
by being selfless towards her husband, her going above and beyond for him is going to make her a better individual. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Is that
that's what I took it as.
that's
Okay,
what I
so
said.
can you read it for me one more time? Because yeah, I'm trying to like I don't know. When you read it, I heard you say basically I don't know. Maybe I'm not hearing correctly what you're saying. Can you read it again? Because again, it's not right in front of me. So
Wish I could post it up here, but I can't. It says, if loving you makes me a better me,
okay,
listen. Then it says, listen, I'll always go hard. I'll always hold you down. I'll always go hard for you. I'll always make you feel like the best thing that ever happened to me.
okay. If loving you makes me a better me, okay. I didn't hear that the first time. Makes
Yeah.
me a better me, okay.
So basically, what I'm perceiving is that she's willing to sacrifice herself for her husband. through the good, the bad, the ugly, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. She's going to always be willing to take the blows, to be the bigger person, to be understanding. She's going to be the sacrificial lamb, if we could say that, for her
Yeah.
husband, so that she can be, it's not about her. I mean, it's not about him, it's about her being a better her.
Yeah.
Whatever, even when he does something wrong, his wrong is not predicated on the way she's going to treat him. She's
Yeah.
willing to humble herself, swallow her pride, so that again is going to make her a better her. Because if she retaliate, if she, give him the same energy he give her, per se, it's not going to make her a good person. So she's willing to overly extend herself to be a better her. That's what I'm
Okay.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you expect if you was that wife and given that? What would you expect from that man? What would be your expectations?
My expectations is I would believe, like, if you have someone loving, if the woman's loving you like that, and she's
Mm-hmm.
basically gonna be your ride or die. She's sticking with you through thick and thin. She's taking blows, I mean, I would believe that he's going to love on her even more. I would hope that that would be a thing. But I mean, it doesn't sound like there is any expectations. It's just because she's going to humble herself. She's going to have grace for different situations and different things like that. And it might not happen overnight, but he might have some things he has to work out if there is issues in their marriage. But if he sees how she's loving on him, that might bring him back, like, wait a minute, wow, no matter, I've done this and this woman's still by my side. That might give him the push he needs to go in the right direction as a husband, because he
Okay.
sees the love that she's giving him.
So you're saying the powers would be transferring to over to him and make him give the same thing that she's given, or
No, I'm saying through her love,
mm-hmm.
she could, and through her submissiveness and everything like that, she can humble his heart. I'm not saying that he's
or
returning everything back, but I'm just saying, if he sees
oh no,
that she's sticking
I
by his
mean
side.
what a man's supposed to give in that process. You're saying that he would give that back, what he's supposed to give, not the exact same thing she's given, but
Yeah, I'm saying that when he provides, he protects, he does everything that
mm-hmm.
his role, then it's not going to be a second guess. Like, you know what? He's going to want to do it. Like, man, I'm going to ride hard for this woman because she has my back. She's staying right by my side through thick and thin. So when he does his stuff, all his roles as a man and as a head, that's not going to be something that he second guess or complains about. He's going to love doing that for his
Mm-hmm.
household, for his wife.
Okay. So why do you feel today most women, well, I want to say most, we're going to say a lot of women, don't feel that same way or have that same intention? Where did we get lost at in that process that they no longer feel this way?
Well, to give both of us room to answer that question, in a perfect world, um, the expectations would be equal, but that's not what the writer said. She
Uh-huh.
said she was willing to do all of those things for her husband. So, does she has expectations? Does she expect him to give her, what she give him, or like what I perceived from her letter was that even if he doesn't give her
Mm-hmm.
what she desires, she's still willing to be the sacrificial lamb. Is not her role to him as a wife is unto God. Is not unto how he treat her, what he should do, what his role is. She's basically saying, you know what, I made these vows to you, and I vow, because that's what you said, right? She
Mm-hmm.
It was a vow.
Uh-huh.
Was that what it was? It was a vow, or
Oh
it
no,
was
it
just
wasn't. She was just saying she was gonna go hard for him, and she would. Let me see. I'm going to quote it again. I want to misquote the lady in saying that. It says, "If loving you makes me a better me, listen. I'll always hold you down. I'll always go hard for you. I'll always make you feel like the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, in a perfect world, you will want reciprocation. You will want, the same energy you give, the same um humility, the same grace, the same mercy you give. You will want to receive that back from your spouse. But
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. But are you still willing to extend yourself to love that person in spite of, you know, perfect
Biblically,
world?
that's the biblical definition was that we both are going at this 100%. Even if you're not doing right, I'm still supposed to want to be the best husband. And that's the mindset you're supposed to go into. A lot of times what we have with couples today that get married don't have the mindset. They have the mindset of me being happy, not necessarily everybody being happy. Because we had a question we posted about which was the most important, and I think it was what? Love was number what? I think love was number one. Um, Trust was number two. Time was number three, and sex was number four. And we had them put them in order. And the majority of, well, the women that answered the question put the intimacy last. So when we talking about both partners, we were saying why didn't we do both? Like if I'm a man, I'm gonna say, well, if sex was the most important, I'm gonna put that number one. But then because I'm with you, I'm gonna go love number two. See, but all the women put the thing that the man most wanted last. Why y'all? This is the chronological order that most people see those things in. Well, most women see that in.
Well,
When
now my older self doesn't see it that way anymore.
okay,
My older mature self, my older um not my little girl, but my grown woman, I feel like
mm-hmm,
intimacy is number one.
okay.
A lot of times as women, we sweep
You
that
are
under
the
the rug.
first. You are the first woman to ever say that.
Yes,
Nobody else.
because I realize as a woman, I used to say that's not important. It's really not important. If the
Mm,
person, if I love the person, if I love the person, if he provides, if he takes care of me, if he does all of those things, if he's compassionate, he's understanding, um, all of those things are important, yes, but intimacy is one of the most important because if you don't have a connection, let's talk about true connection with a person. When
mhm,
a person is when you don't have intimacy, it doesn't matter if a person cares about you, if he takes care of you, if he provides, if he protects you, that don't matter because there's no intimacy because you don't feel that connection with that individual. So me now, my older woman, I learned to stop sweeping stuff under the rug, to
mhm.
acknowledge what is the truth. The truth is intimacy is very important because in the beginning, what connected you with that person in the first place? It was intimacy. It was a
Exactly. Yep.
connection. So
Hmm.
if you throw that under the rug and you throw that away, what do you really have? You just have a partner, you just have a roommate, you just have a friend. You understand what I'm saying? You do
Exactly.
want all of that in a relationship. You want to be someone's partner, you want to be someone's friend, but you want intimacy with that as well.
That's important.
I agree with that. I agree with that. With the intimacy, but my view with intimacy, because I would put intimacy up there, one of my top two or three. But for me, the reason why when we did that podcast, when you say intimacy being number one, and everybody has
Hmm.
their own preference and everything, my thing is I can go out here and yeah, the first thing that attracts me to someone is not intimacy because me looking at someone, I don't know how you're gonna make me feel between the sheets. But my connection with you is through first talking, getting to know
Hmm.
you, then I build those feelings because I heard you say the word feelings. If you're not feeling someone, you don't have intimacy. intimacy. That's where love comes in. My thing is loving you is going to make me want to be intimate with you. I can just sleep with someone. I can be intimate with someone, but if I don't have feelings for you, it means nothing. So I can be in a house with someone and we can be knocking boots all night. But if I'm not attracted to you, if we don't have a connection on a communication level, if we can't sit down and enjoy each other in other ways, so we're just two people screwing, you know. So I put
One word.
intimacy second because love has to come first. I have to be feeling you to even enjoy intimacy with you. Anybody can
Yeah.
knock you down, but are you making a connection with that person? Because I'm going to enjoy intimacy much more with you if I have that connection. Because if not, I'm just going to be a pillow princess. I'm going to be laying there.
Well, that's some strong words right there.
And that's true as well. But when you look at intimacy, when
Hmm.
sorry about that, corporate, corporate. When you look at intimacy, that's the first thing we go to is physical. Intimacy is far more than that. It's
Yes.
can you
Hmm.
stimulate my mind more than you could stimulate my body. Because sometimes you can't even you for most women, if you can't stimulate our mind, you can't stimulate our body.
That's
You
why I said
understand?
communication. If I don't have
Yeah.
that with you, then I can't. Intimacy is so much more. That's why I'm saying I have to be feeling you. There has to be something that I'm going home after our conversation, before the between the sheets thing even happens. I'm thinking about you. I can't wait to get your text. I can't. There's so much more with that. So now I'm attracted to you. Something attracted me to you. And it's so much more. So that means me feeling you, the feeling that I have inside, those
Hmm.
butterfly feelings, that's the
Hmm.
start of me being in love with you. That's why I call it love. Me having those feelings of butterfly. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him tonight. We're going to go on a second date. Now I'm starting to want to see you. I want to have conversations with you. All that stuff in the nutshell, all that is me starting to be in love with you. That's why it's love,
Okay.
because we could be intimate with anybody. I can attract somebody's eye and be like, wow, he's fine. So if we're knocking boots, it's like there's no connection. We never talked anything. So intimacy, I put that second because you have to love someone for intimacy to even mean something.
Uh-huh. But we live in a society now that's based more so on situationships.
Mhm.
Why do we have so many situationships and not actual marriages and relationships?
Yeah, but I mean, the situationships, yeah, that's the whole thing. Anybody can sit there and have a situationship with someone, but the question that you were asking is, why are there so many women putting sex fourth or sex? I don't know if that's a trigger
Yeah,
word on
but
here.
that but that's
They're
what I'm
putting
saying. But
intimacy last. I wouldn't
hmm
put it last, but I would definitely put it, to where that love, I have to be feeling you
but see,
in order for that to mean something to me.
okay, but
That's
I
what I
it.
was saying,
The reason women has done that is because what we care about society and what society says. Like we feel like we have to rush to something. You hear echo?
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a little echo.
So women feel if I
Okay,
don't
now
give
it's
it
good.
if I don't give it to him now, he's gonna leave me and go to the next woman. Well, let him go. Like we don't a lot of women don't value themselves. They don't see themselves as valuable. I hear people say, well, if a man he could sleep with you today, he could sleep with you 9 months from now. If he wants you, he wants you. If he not, men will wait. I've
Yeah.
I've heard men say, I'm a patient man. They will wait.
Yeah,
They will wait
exactly.
just to get their target. But really like
They,
I
they,
like I'm a woman. A person is going to tell you truly who he is. Consistency means a lot. You understand what I'm
mhm,
saying? And I live
okay.
by this quote. I live by this quote. Leopards don't change their spot. He's
Mm,
gonna reveal his truth. And she's
yeah, that's
vice
true.
versa. They're gonna reveal their truth. So if you just take the time and get to know, that's the problem with society nowadays. You meet somebody, you get in all these butterflies. Oh, he made me feel this way. It's like
Hmm.
really think about it. Like I said to myself, I no longer want potential. You either are or you're not. Not saying that I can't grow with you, I can't work with you, but You either are or you not. And it's not about hearing your words. I want to see action. And if you can't show me your action behind your words, then let's move on.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that one. But again, I was only saying it's a conflict between the two. The conflict that I was seeing is the women were placing, well, the ladies were putting it last. But today we have so many situationships where there people are in relationship but not really in a relationship. So why, what you put with them putting it last, why would you lock yourself into that? Why wouldn't you put more of a standard to try to get what you actually wanted as opposed to accepting what is being put out here? And most of it is, okay, well, you know what? We good for the intimacy, but we're not good for the marriage.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't you, or do you feel more ladies are now not interested in getting married in that sense?
Yeah, and I've heard that. I've had quite a few people in my life that I've heard say that, where they're in a marriage and okay, everything, oh my goodness, things suck, but the intimacy is good. That's all that was good. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so what else there's no communication, there's no, he goes his way, she goes her way, and it's like they only come together to maybe do stuff with the kids, but behind the scenes, okay, when we're between the sheets, that's good. That's our way of communicating. I'm like, well, if that's the only way you can communicate through intimacy, it's like, okay, I can't talk to you about bills. There's an argument there. There's things that,
Mm-hmm.
that's all we have. That's not a lot, because you need two people that can build together. So if something happens with our household and we can't communicate, how are we going to come together to try to save our household, to go save that mortgage from crashing?
Mm-hmm.
I can't communicate with you. We don't have that in our relationship, but we can screw each other though. So when our roof is taken away from us and we don't have shelter, we can still screw. That, how is that good?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. In our society, that was not it was not frowned on. But at the same time, if we look at it from this aspect, do you feel like women are more today, more like men, or thinking more like men, or going in that direction when it comes to sex? Because men need sex, women want sex. So do you feel like women have kind of crossed over, and when
Okay.
we
To
masculinize women?
we going like from topic to topic to from this topic to
Oh
that.
no, I know. I was just saying because we're
Like,
trying to get understanding how we got here.
well, the reason we got here because women have settled, and we just feel a lot of women just feel like, they wasn't gonna get exactly what they wanted. But I believe that, if we go biblical, I believe that that's a lie from the pits of hell. That's a lie of the devil, the enemy.
Hmm.
This spirit of singleness that has been going around.
Hmm.
Women was not created to be single. We was created to be someone's helpmate.
Hmm.
I am a true believer of that. We was created for the man. You understand?
Exactly.
That was the
Uh-huh.
purpose of the woman. And but the thing is that the men stopped leading. They allowed the women to lead. They allowed the women to make all the decisions and do everything. Now, when you look back, when you're talking about like the olden days in communication,
Hmm.
we could look at movies. We heard our grandparents. We see, if you had grandparents in your life and you seen how they moved, I could honestly say the men really didn't talk. They did not talk much at all. They might have, said things in the bedroom to their wives, but the men really wasn't they really didn't have a lot of words. It was the woman who, she took care of everything. She took care of the business. She might have discussed it with her husband, but she was the more, in the decision making, it was always the wife. I gotta go to mama, I gotta talk to my wife, whatever, whatever. But he was more of the breadwinner, and he brought her the money, and he did everything. But men really, they really didn't talk. And us
So
as
you
We want to pull these men. Oh, he needs to talk. He needs to talk more. But if you truly have a man who provides and he takes care of home and he, does certain things, really, he's not a big talker. And I'm learning that even from my marriage.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
he's more of an action type of guy. He's not a talker. He's more I'm a be about it than talk about it. You
Well, you
know.
remember I used to say that all the time. Men look at it as a duty. See, we look at marriage as a duty. It's what we do. And like I have a friend now that says, well, her husband went out and bought her a whole bunch of clothes and he did a whole bunch of stuff, but he had to work overnight. And he had to, at this point in time, he needed for him to stay home. Her parents was in town and she needed for him to stay home, but he couldn't, but he bought a whole bunch of stuff to go along with it because he couldn't stay. So she was like, well, I didn't need that. See, I don't need the stuff. I would have rather had you, but he was only doing what he know what was best in that situation for himself because we understand love as duty. We're going to protect you, take care of you from that aspect. Because that's why when the Bible said, it says to love your wife, and right after it, it told us how, like Christ loved the church, which is an action, not necessarily a feeling. So we don't understand the feeling thing. We understand what we do. And so that's why we receive these things in that manner. And we receive respect as a form of love for y'all. The feeling that y'all get, we get that with the respect you give us. So once you understand those two things, that's where our issue was. And that's what made the lady's promise so different for us because she was saying she was sacrificing herself in the process for us. Whether we were good or bad, she was going to do that. And that in itself speak volumes because that's what you look for because you would lay your life down for something that was looked for a woman that would put you on that type of level. And that's the thing that I felt was missing. I don't think we missed with the leadership. I think y'all desired a whole bunch of other things in that process before we relinquish because we're gonna settle to what you want more so than anything else. We're gonna get because I look at it like this. My father used to say a woman has twice the glory and it has more glory than God. And people don't realize that had to take place. That's why you have two coverings. You have a husband and God. And so when you look at it from that aspect, that's where we get ourselves in trouble because again, we'll get caught up in a lot of stuff we shouldn't because you are. He made you more. He made you have more glory than him, so we'll be more attracted to you. Because if you think about Adam and Eve, Adam would have loved God way more than he loved Eve. The only way that could have happened is he did that because he would have been more faithful and more devoted to God than he would have been Eve. So that had to happen to make him love Eve. So that's where we come from with that mindset. So yeah, I believe, like I say, a lot of times today our women have been taught to be more masculine. And in that masculinity, we have backed off because see, we're gonna cater to what it is. See, when you asked us to beg, we beg. When you asked us to step back, we step back. You ask that you give it to us, we're gonna take it. Whatever the situation folds, we're gonna do.
And
This is
see,
how that works.
and see, that's
Go ahead.
the issue. That's the issue. Like you said, what you just said, you guys kind of backed up and, let her take and that's the problem because that's not biblical. And I heard I forget what your name, Shamik, what is your name? I'm sorry.
Shamika.
Shamika, sorry about it's so tiny now that he put
I know
this
she got
small.
me.
So
No, she got
Shamika,
no. I didn't do it.
when she talked about how our grandparents and parents were different things. But see, I
Mhm.
came up where I saw my parents, I saw my father be the man in my household. I saw my mother taking care of us, the kids. She was cooking, she was doing everything. Because in the time I came up, they were pretty much retired. She only went back to nursing sometime. So she cared for the house and stuff. When they made a decision, when they paid bills, they went in their office, they sat down and did the bills together. She would be on one, the calculator. He would be on one thing. They did it together, and everything, whatever the decision was, she might have gave her input, but I saw my father make the final decision. There was no, oh no, I think we should do it this. Now, okay, being a help means I can give you advice. You can take my advice because I'm your help me. But at the end, I'm going to respect his decision because he's the head. And what's happening is you have the head now being the tail. So he's waiting for her. So I try to, in my marriage, there's a lot of times where I do want the leadership. I want that all the time. But it, no matter what, because so many people got used to being the tail, what I'll get is, hey, what do you think about this? I don't know. What do you think? You tell me whatever you want to do. No, I want you to tell me. I don't want to make the decision. So sometimes I'll get spoiled that way where I'm still making the decisions and I just want to give my input. But no, my parents definitely, they were what they were supposed to be. My father made the final decisions. And I always heard her say, let me ask my husband. If she was talking to a family member or a
Mm-hmm.
friend and they said, hey, what do you think about this? Hold on, let me call my husband. Let me ask my husband and see what he says.
I hear that. That's what it was supposed to happen.
And that's
Would
what
you
we
like to
got
comment
away
on that,
from.
Mika?
Okay,
Shamika?
so let's go back to the letter.
Mm-hmm.
The, all of the guidelines and the stipulations that she gave, or everything that she put out there, was that
Mm-hmm.
really her duty to do? Because when you go back biblical, the Bible tells the woman to respect her husband, to honor her.
Basically.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yep.
But he told the husband to love the wife as
Like
Christ
the
loved the
church.
church.
Amen.
So
Uh-huh.
Christ gave his life. He sacrificed. He was the sacrificial lamb. So the husband is to be the
Exactly.
sacrificial lamb for the
Mm-hmm.
husband. I mean, for the
Mm-hmm.
wife.
Yeah,
So she
exactly.
does that duty. She wants to be the sacrificial lamb, but
Uh-huh.
at her point, she's saying because it's going to make her a better her. I get that. She
Mm-hmm.
want to respect him. She want to honor him as the head, as the man, and all of that is going to make her a better her. But that wasn't her job. Only thing she was asked to do was to respect her husband, not to be
Mm-hmm.
not to be the sacrifice. To be honest, I believe that the Bible was saying, okay, you men love her, love her as Christ loved the church, sacrifice for her because he knew
Mm-hmm.
that we was gonna be dysfunctional. We was gonna be a problem. Women, we go from menopause, we go from puberty, we be all over the place. So he knew, he was like, listen, you about to deal with some stuff. Just love her. Just love her. There's gonna be some sacrifice you gotta make. So
Yes.
I get that concept. But when you talk about, like Shay just said, um, basically like holding down and being his backbone and doing all of that stuff, like anything, any decision I make, the Bible talks about wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom is a woman. When he talks about wisdom, he always say, listen to her. Listen to her. Wisdom is a woman.
That's what
He refers to wisdom as a woman. So when I
okay.
look at wisdom, I say, okay, if wisdom is a woman, God
Mm-hmm.
has given us all of this intellect, this information. We are downloaded with so much. That's why sometimes we can't stop thinking. We even got to think for the man. We think for the kids. We think for the dog, the cat. We think for the bird. We think for everybody, right? But with
Mm-hmm.
wisdom says this, and this is what I learned. Even though my husband is the head of the house, he may not have the ability to lead in certain things where that's my strong suit. But I
Mm-hmm.
still, before I make a decision, I bring it to him and I
Mm-hmm.
present it to him. And I say, listen, here, I have reason with me. Let's talk about this. Whether it's bills, no matter what it is. If a decision needs to be made, I'm not the boss. I may be a more dominant person. I may be a more assertive person because my husband is more laid back and chill. But if I'm getting buying a coffee, I'm saying, babe, listen, I took this out. I bought coffee. We got $5 less in the account. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
anything
feel you.
movement I make, I run it by my husband. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he want to take money out, he'd be like, "Babe, can I go in the bank and take this?" Although he's the most, he provides the most. You understand? But we both work. But we have that understanding where it's like we don't want to be surprised with nothing. Like, oh my gosh, you took out all of this money and now it's not nothing there for the roof. Like Shay was talking about the roof.
Yeah.
We gotta have money, so we have that communication. But still, I'm the person that I make the decisions. I do. But I also, before I make any decision, I make sure he knows about the decisions that's being made.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And that's
correct. I
with
like that. Yes, that's correct. But like I said, that I mean, that's one of the things, and I love what you said there. That hit it right on the head. But at the same time, having that understanding to understand all the things that do go on, and I think that's one of the things I think we as people need to do is try to understand each other's needs, so that that way we would be better with each other. And I think that's when our biggest disconnect is that we don't take the time to try to understand each other. We kind of go into things with the mindset of what I want. Like even when it says, okay, the submissiveness. See, we're looking for you to, okay, do whatever we tell you to do. But that's not always the case because, like I said, that's wanted because of our personal wants. If the wants is only because I want it, as opposed to what's best for us. Now, if I'm wanting it for what's best for us, then that's different. But if I want it just to make myself happy, to make myself feel like a bigger man, then okay, well, yeah, that wouldn't be needed. But that's the thing, and the same thing, vice versa, with a lot of ladies that want to be married, but at the same time don't want the plate that comes with marriage. I
Hmm.
want to be married. I like the fact of being married, but I don't like the fact of I got to be submissive. Who said that? Why I got to bring myself up under him?
Yeah.
I gotta listen to what he say.
That's why there's so many people rewriting vows today. They're not even saying the traditional ones. They're changing it. Like I'm not doing that. But yeah,
Would,
that's
would,
what
would you
we're,
put love and obey in yours then?
yeah. They what you say?
Would you let that love and obey be in yours then?
Yeah.
Today.
Why
Because it
not?
was love and obey. You will be cool with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, love and
I know
obey.
it. I'm a man. I never saw
Because
nothing
you
wrong.
know why? I mean, for me, that's a part of to me, that's a part of submissiveness. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to and what she's saying, maybe that's helping her be better by maybe she had an issue with being submissive. I don't know. So maybe she figures if I do this and love on you this way, that's going to help me be a better me. So if it's helping me be better in that department, then yes,
Mm-hmm.
keep those vows the same way. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be blessed by God because I'm doing what He asked me to do in my marriage.
That's it. Well, that was an interesting show. I'm about to wrap it up because we done made into an hour.
right.
I would love to do it again. I enjoyed you, Shay, and you, Shamika, making me say this whole government name thing. You and Shamika go way back from back
Well,
in the day.
my friends could call me Mika, and
Oh, I'm not your friend now. God, I got kicked out of friendship too. God, that
you my.
is so right.
I just wanted to say, I guess some people feel like, well, marriage is not the ending goal, but why not? Why not? The Bible says two is better than one. Like
Hmm.
Exactly.
it is. I see. Like me and my husband is going through something right now, and I
Hmm.
see biblically, I see the scripture just unfolding. Like two is really better than one. Like especially when you have the communication where it's like, you know what? I don't have to go into a depression. I don't have to be stressed out because I have my spouse to say, you know what, babe, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna encourage each other. We're gonna speak life over the situation and one
Right.
another. We're not gonna get defeated. You know what I'm saying? Because life can
That's
really
it.
have you defeated sometimes. And doing that by yourself is a lot. So when you say, I want to get married,
Hmm.
not just married, not just a wedding, marriage. Marriage is beautiful, but it's teamwork, it's unity.
Yes, yes.
When
Exactly.
one is when you cold, it's been cold up here. I don't know. I'm in Connecticut, so it's been
It's cold
cold
out
up.
here.
It's cold in Georgia too.
It's cold.
Yes, and when I get under these covers and I put my feet between my husband's legs, I be like, yes, because his body heat is warmer than mine. I be freezing. So, it's things that I'm grateful for, to have that warm body towards me when I'm cold.
Hmm.
And, it's just like I said, you gotta know your strength and you gotta know your spouse strength. He's
Exactly.
not strong as I am, and maybe not as confident when it comes to certain things, but
Yeah.
things that I'm short in and I'm not as confident and strong in, he is, and I'm
Exactly.
forever grateful for that. So we
Mhm.
gotta look at those things when you talk about marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
do. I agree 100% with that. Would
yeah.
you like
Same
to have
here
any
with that.
last words, Shay?
The same thing,
Anything
just to
like
touch on what Shamika said, the same thing. Yeah, I agree with that. The strong points. Yeah,
okay?
that whole thing of being submissive and letting him lead. But yes, there's areas where he's better at. It's like, okay, when he's asking for certain things, okay, and that could be the case. He's coming to me because, okay, she might always, her decisions might be good this way. Or when it comes to bills, you know what? Okay, what do you think about this? Okay, what's due here? Okay, well, everybody has their strong points, and I agree with that. So yeah, when it comes down to it for a marriage, and I hear a lot of people now, they're calling it a partnership. Okay, instead of a relation, they're like, okay, what do you want in your partnership? I've never called it that because I don't feel like I'm clocking into work when I'm coming home. I feel like it's a union, it's a marriage. A partnership sounds like there's a disconnect somewhere. It's like I
No,
get to go somewhere else at the end of the day. But no, you have two people that are together. Why not? I would like that to be the last person I spend my last breath. I want that to be with somebody that I love. I don't want to spend years of getting back and forth in relationships. And yes, a marriage is something that you have a best friend. It's like I always said this to my husband. Being married is like having that best friend sleep over and they just never leave.
oh, that's deep. I don't want no best
Because
friend
when
sleeping.
you were a kid, if you ever had a sleepover at a best friend's house, it's almost like
I don't
you
want
are at a sleepover. It's a never ending sleepover. You
no.
just, it's what you make it.
Okay,
And
I
and I
heard that.
look, so I think God had a sense of humor with the obey. So you said, do you think you could obey somebody?
Yeah, that's
God
right. It
had a
said
sense
love and
of
obey.
humor because how many times you'd be like, obey.
Yeah, there you go. That's it right there.
That's it right there. So he was like, you gonna obey. And then like my husband
That's
cooked
it.
dinner
There.
tonight. I was
Let's
like,
do it.
obey. Like, yes, like I didn't have to cook. Obey. So so we could turn that turn it into funny, or we could turn it into, you know what? As a taskmaster, it's not that. I believe God was like, you're gonna be saying obey a lot. So don't worry about it.
There you go. Well, that's wrapping our show up for the night. I really enjoyed both our guests, and I mean not both our guests. Shay's my sidekick over here, and we definitely appreciate Shamika joining us tonight.
Yes,
It was
definitely.
a
Thank you.
lovely
Nice
podcast.
meeting you.
We're
Nice
hoping
meeting
that
you,
we
Jay.
got to do this again, and I might include my other friend that Mika know, even though I ain't talked to her neither. She done kicked me to the curb too, but because of my new business. But yeah, we're gonna try to get everybody together and have another strong conversation. I enjoyed this one immensely, so
Yeah.
definitely look forward to chatting with you again. Anybody want to share? You want to share anything before you go, or you ain't
No.
got Instagram? Anything you
Well,
want?
no, I don't want to. I just want to say a positive mentality leads to a destined reality. I have to say that because,
Oh,
again,
want to say
we
our
talk
logo?
about mental
Okay.
health and positivity.
Yep, that's it. I agree with you there. There's no hate there. Well, I enjoyed both of y'all. We're gonna end the stream right now, and we're gonna go. Like I said, Mika, don't be a stranger. Hit me up. We definitely want to do this again. We got some more topics. We would love for you to join in on.
Hey, I'm
Because I
ready
wish
for
you
the
could have
I
got
come
you.
with the smoke. I am very transparent. I am open minded. And listen,
That's,
I,
that's what I
I'm
love
ready.
so much about you, Mika. That's
My
exactly why I got you on here. I said, let me call Mika.
I appreciate you being here, Mika. He seems to be very nice when you're on, so I appreciate it.
I'm nice all the time. I don't
listen,
know what you talking about.
Luke has really, literally, me meeting Luke. I think I met Luke in 2020 when COVID hit. And I no, was it 2019?
Yo,
About
2019. You
yeah,
cheating me though. You
2019
skipped
I
the
met
amount
you.
of time. That's right.
Probably before that.
It might have been before that.
Yeah, because I was married and then we got divorced and then we got remarried. So
Yep.
yeah, I met you
'Cause
before.
before you remarried, actually. You
Yeah,
was getting
yep.
back.
Married,
Hope you
yes.
get back. See?
But Luke has really made me see things. That's why the intimacy part of the conversation, I had to bring it to number one because
There you
for
go.
years I was like, oh, it's not important. It's not important. I don't. He made me realize there was some stuff in me that I was hiding, that I was
That's
lying. I was
wow.
lying
Exactly.
to myself.
That's
And I
what.
had to
Yeah.
really look
That's.
at myself and I had to say, wow, you really was lying. That stuff is
Mhm.
very important. And as a
Yeah,
woman, acknowledge it, like face it. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay to
exactly.
say
Yeah.
I
That's true.
like this, I like that because before I was like, oh no, I ain't doing that.
Trying
I
to
don't want.
act like it wasn't that important. And see, I was the opposite. I can say the same thing about Luke. Meeting him in 20, I don't know what year. It was
It was 4 years
it
ago.
was 4 years ago.
Almost 5 years
The
ago now.
opposite of you because I thought it was important. And I was like, and he was like, a woman only wants it, doesn't need it. So he pushed me back to where that's why it wasn't my number one number because it was like, that's not the most important thing. So that's why my number wasn't number one for intimacy because Luke opened my eyes to see as a woman, I shouldn't
But
be putting that first.
it
Because I
should have
don't
been number
want it.
two,
So he
but
maybe
still,
not really desired as much. So
oh,
he,
get out of here. I didn't do that. I did not
Shaq,
do that. Don't even
intimacy,
put that out there on me.
it used to be so important to me, but no, that's just a joke. But no, that was important to me. It was probably up there as a number one, but
Shaq,
then I had to level it out.
No.
intimacy was number 30 for me. It was not important at all.
See?
Until I realized Luke was like, you're lying. You're lying. And I was like, I'm not lying. You can't tell me I'm lying. I'm not a liar. And I was like, oh, you a liar. Because it's important.
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
I
And like
wasn't
I
gonna
said,
bring
it
that up,
balances
Mika. I was
out
not gonna
things.
put you out there like that, but
It balances out things and it makes that lifelong sleepover so much better, you know?
My
see, there you
truth,
go.
I've awakened from the sleep and the slumber. So I'm good.
See? And that's what I'm saying. But we're gonna continue this positive mindset and look forward. Like I said, we're gonna do this again. I need to schedule one within the next couple of days. We have y'all available, but we're gonna have some more guests because we do need to have a bigger roundtable. I wish I could get my brothers like Rohan and Shay's husband and to join in just to have a man's perspective on some of these things, or at least talk about them. But yeah, we're gonna do some things, and definitely within a couple of days we're gonna have another one because we got a question coming up. One of my shows coming up right now is in the 50-50 is a man that is he still considered a provider? And I think we have different relationships today. So I'm gonna touch on that because we got a lot of responses to that. So we're gonna do that show within the next couple of days as well. But I did enjoy both, and we enjoyed you immensely, Mika. And we're gonna
Okay.
try to get my other friend on. You know my other friend that don't talk to me no more, but we're still friends. We're gonna try to get everybody just to have a little conversation. So we're gonna end that right here. And like I said, like, subscribe, and share to the viewers, and definitely hit us back. Listen to look forward to our upcoming shows. We'll do some more, and we appreciate you. God bless.
God bless you. Have a good night.
All
Good
right.
night. I did end it. There we go. Yeah, I finally got it.